You said this year would be different. You wrote the goals. You made the plan. You even felt serious this time. But here you are, still in the same place. Not because you don't care, not because you're incapable, but because when the exact moment to act showed up, you didn't execute. And that moment is smaller than you think. It's not a big dramatic decision. It's quiet. It's the second your alarm rings and you hit snooze instead of getting up. It's when you open your laptop and feel that sudden urge to check Instagram first. It's when you tell yourself, I'll start in 5 minutes. That's where your future actually breaks. Not in big failures, but in tiny, repeated hesitations that pile up day after day, week after week, until the life you dreamed about feels like a distant memory you keep postponing. Let's be honest, you already know what to do. You know you should train. You know you should study. You know you should work on that project. You know you should stop wasting hours scrolling. You plan it. You write it down. You imagine the new version of yourself. But when the time comes, something inside you pauses, and that pause always wins. This channel exists to study that pause, because it's not laziness, it's not lack of intelligence, it's not lack of information. It's a psychological gap between your intention and your identity. You want to change, but you don't truly see yourself as someone who follows through. So when effort shows up, your brain protects the old identity it already believes in. Consistency feels fake. It feels forced, so you delay. I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You are addicted to intention. You love planning. You love the excitement of a new goal. You love the first 3 days when everything feels fresh and full of possibility. But execution? Execution is different. Execution is repetitive. It's boring. It's studying when no one is watching. It's training when progress is painfully slow. It's doing the work when results are invisible. Your brain craves stimulation, not repetition. So you switch. New routine, new notebook, new productivity system, new, fresh start. You don't actually crave real transformation. You crave the emotional high of starting over. Restarting feels powerful. It feels clean. But the real work happens in the middle, around day 10, around week 3, when the novelty dies and boredom sets in. That's where most people quit. If you're tired of restarting your life every month, subscribe. This channel is for people who are done being great at planning and terrible at executing. Now let's go deeper. Every single time you fail to execute, something subtle but devastating happens. You lose a piece of self-trust, and self-trust is everything. When you say you'll do something and you don't, your brain records it like a permanent entry in a ledger. Your internal credibility drops. After enough broken promises to yourself, you stop believing in your own word. This isn't a motivation problem, it's a self-respect problem. Execution is self-respect in action. When you act despite discomfort, you're telling yourself, my word matters. When you don't, you're teaching yourself that your temporary feelings are the boss. There's another silent killer. You overestimate intensity and underestimate consistency. You think real change needs dramatic effort, so you try to study for 3 hours straight, train 6 days a week, wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. But the first time you fail, you collapse completely. All or nothing. That mindset destroys execution. Because execution doesn't thrive on intensity, it thrives on stability. You don't need to become extreme. You need to become predictable to yourself. Right now, you're emotionally unpredictable. Some days you're on fire, other days you disappear. That instability creates anxiety, and anxiety makes every action feel heavier. The real question isn't, how do I stay motivated? The real question is, why does my identity collapse the moment boredom appears? The version of you that plans the goals is not the same version that has to execute them. Planning happens in comfort. Execution happens in friction, when you're tired, distracted, bored, or slightly uncomfortable. And that version of you wants relief, not growth. So you negotiate with yourself. I'll start later. I'll make up for it tomorrow. Every negotiation weakens the bridge between intention and action. Here's the part almost nobody talks about. Execution is not emotional, it's mechanical. The most disciplined people you admire don't feel less resistance than you. They've just trained a faster response. Resistance appears. they move anyway. You treat resistance like a red light that says, stop. But resistance is not a stop sign. It's just discomfort. And discomfort is the entrance fee to every meaningful change. So here's the shift you need to make. Stop building your goals around emotion. Start building your behavior around standards. A goal says, I want this result. A standard says, this is who I am now. This is what I do. For example, instead of saying, I want to transform my body, say, I train 4 days every week, no matter what. Even if I'm tired, even if it's raining, even if I don't feel like it. Instead of, I want to become smarter, say, I study 30 focused minutes every single day without fail. One is emotional and fragile. The other is structural and solid. Here's your practical reset. Choose one behavior that actually matters. Just one. Not 10, not 5. One. Make it non-negotiable for the next 30 days. Not intense, just consistent. My job on this channel is simple. To close the gap between what you say and what you do. If you say you'll do it, you do it. If you miss once, no drama, no identity crisis, just immediate correction. The golden rule is never miss twice, because missing twice is how the old pattern returns. Right now, your identity is built on inconsistency. That can change. But it doesn't change through motivation. It changes through proof, small, daily proof. Every time you follow through, you send a message to your brain. I am someone who executes. When that message repeats, your identity updates. And when your identity updates, execution stops feeling heroic and starts feeling normal. That's the goal, to make follow-through boring and automatic, to make action your default response. By the way, after studying this gap for years, the deepest solution I've found for finally closing it forever is learning the one skill almost nobody teaches: self-persuasion. It's about learning how to convince yourself to execute, even when motivation disappears and the 3 invisible goal destroyers show up. That good enough comfort zone that keeps you lukewarm and stuck, the brutal grind that kills most people by day 30, and the inner voice that whispers, this works for others, but not for me. Russell Brunson put together a masterclass that installs this exact self-persuasion framework directly into your brain in just 4 hours. It's the missing piece that turns I always restart into I actually follow through every single time. I left the link in the description. If you're tired of knowing exactly what to do but still not doing it, it's worth checking out. No hype, just the framework that's helped thousands finally break the cycle. Because the real tragedy isn't failing sometimes. The real tragedy is living every day in the gap between who you want to be and what you repeatedly do. That gap creates frustration. Frustration turns into self-doubt, and eventually, self-doubt becomes your personality. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new system. You need stronger standards. So the next time resistance shows up, don't ask yourself how you feel. Ask yourself who you are. Are you someone who negotiates with discomfort, or someone who executes despite it? Then act like that person. Your life is not built by intentions. It's built by repeated actions. Until you fix execution, nothing else changes. Not your body, not your skills, not your confidence. Stop restarting. Stop romanticizing new beginnings. Start respecting your own word. If you're ready to finally close the gap between knowing and doing, subscribe and turn on notifications. The next video is already waiting for you in the description, and so is the link to that masterclass if you're done with the same cycle forever. I'll see you there.